Children of class 7. Today we are going to start from question number 5. As you all know, in the earlier video we have discussed till question number 4. Now today I am going to read this question number 5, then we will see the answer from the text. Question number 5 is on getting Gopu Mama's chappal, the music teacher tried not to look too happy. Why? Let's see in the text. Now here you can see answer. The music master's eyes lit up. He put them on, trying not to look too happy. Well, I suppose these will have to do. These days, children have no respect for elders. What to do? Now here, the music master is hiding his happiness because he got a new chapel instead of old one. Now this answer we can write in our words. Gopu Mama's slippers were new, while the ones that the children gave away to the beggar were quite old and shabby looking. Still, the music master lied that his slippers had been brand new. He was quite happy to get new slippers in return for his old ones. However, he tried not to look too happy as he wanted to show his disappointment at what the children had done, even though his eyes lit up. When he saw the new pair of slippers, he pretended as if he will have to somehow manage with it. Now here you can see he was hiding his happiness because he got a new one, a new chapel in a very good condition. Now let's move to the next question. The next question is, on getting a gift of chapels, the beggar vanished in a minute. Why was he in such a hurry to leave? Now, from answer this question, we will see in the text. Here said Ravi to the beggar, dropping the slippers in front of the old man, wear this and don't come back. The beggar stayed at the slippers, hurriedly flung his towel over his shoulder, pushed his feet into them and left, muttering a blessing to the children. In a minute he had vanished around the corner of the street. Here you can see, because he got a new chapel, or that time he got a chapel, what he need a lot. For solving the next exercise, we should know what are the conditional sentences and where we are using if. So, there are 4 different type of conditional sentences in English. Each expresses a different degree of probability that a situation will occur or would have occurred under certain circumstances. Now, first 0 conditional sentences, first conditional sentences, second conditional sentences, and third conditional sentences. Let's look at each of these different type of conditional sentences in more detail. How to use 0 conditional sentences. How we are going to use the 0 conditional sentences in which the if is using. 0 conditional sentences express general truth. Situation in which one thing is always causes another. When you use a 0 conditional, you are talking about a general truth rather than a specific instance of something. Consider the following example. Let's see the example. First example, if you don't brush your teeth, you get cavities. And the second example, when people smoke cigarettes, their health suffers. There are a couple of things to take note of in the above sentences in which the 0 conditional is used. First, when using the 0 conditional, the correct tense to use in the both clauses is the simple present tense. A common mistake is to use the simple future tense. The incorrect way, I am giving the example, when people smoke cigarettes, their health will suffer. Secondly, notice that the word if and when can be used interchangeably in these sentences, in these 0 conditional sentences. This is because the outcome will always be the same. So it doesn't matter if or when it happens. Now let's move to the second part of this conditional sentence. This is first conditional sentences. First conditional sentences are used to express situation in which the outcome is likely but not guaranteed to happen in the future. Look at the examples below. First example, if you rest, you will feel better. Now the second example, if you set your mind to a goal, you will eventually achieve it. Now here we can see we use the simple present tense in the if clause and simple future tense in the main clause. That is the clause that expresses the likely outcome. This is how we indicate that under a certain condition as expressed in the if clause, a specific result will likely happen to the future. Examine some of the common mistakes people or we are doing or making the first conditional structure. The incorrect sentence, I am giving the example, if you will rest, you will feel better. The correct one is, if you rest, you will feel better. Now use the simple present tense in the if clause. The incorrect sentence I am giving you, if you set your mind to a goal, you eventually achieve it. Now the correct one, how to correct it? So the correct one, if you set your mind to a goal, you will eventually achieve it. So here we are using will at the second part of the sentences. Use the zero conditional sentences means simple present plus simple present only when a certain result is guaranteed. If the result is likely, use the first conditional simple present tense plus simple future. It is the main thing. Now how to use second conditional sentences? Second conditional sentences are useful for expressing outcome that are completely unrealistic or will not likely happen in the future. Consider the examples below. I am giving the example. First example, if I inherit $1 billion, I would travel to the moon. Second example, if I own a zoo, I might let people interact with the animals more. The correct way to structure second conditional sentence is to use the simple past tense in the if clause and an auxiliary modal verb just like could, should, would, might in the main clause. The one that express the unrealistic or likely outcome. The following sentences illustrate a couple of the common mistakes people make when using the second conditionals. The incorrect one, if I inherit $1 billion, I would travel to the moon. The correct one is, if I inherited $1 billion, I would travel to the moon. When applying the second conditional, use the simple past tense in the if clause. The second incorrect example, if I owned a zoo, I will let people interact with the animals more. The correct one, if I owned a zoo, I might let people interact with the animals more. Use a modal auxiliary verb in the main clause when using the second conditional mood to express the unlikelihood that the result will actually happen. Now let's move to the third. How to use third conditional sentence. How to use third conditional sentences. Third conditional sentences are used to explain that present circumstances would be different if something different had happened in the past. Look at the following examples. First example, if you had told me you needed a ride, I would have left earlier. Now second example, if I had cleaned the house, I could have gone to the movies. These sentences expresses a condition that was likely enough but did not actually happen in the past. The speaker in the first sentence was capable of leaving early but did not. Along these same lines, the speaker in the second sentences was capable of cleaning the house but did not. These are all conditions that were likely but regrettably did not happen. When using the third conditional, we use the past perfect. It means had plus past participle. In the if clause, the modal auxiliary would, could, should, etc. It's mean have plus past participle in the main clause expresses the theoretical situation that could have happened. Consider these common mistakes when applying the third conditional. The incorrect one is, If you would have told me you needed a ride, I would have left earlier. Now, the correct one, if you had told me you needed a ride, I would have left earlier. With third conditional sentences, do not use a modal auxiliary in the if clause. Now, incorrect one, if I had cleaned the house, I could go to the movies. The correct one, if I had cleaned the house, I could have gone to the movies. The third conditional mood expresses a situation that could have only happened in the past if a certain condition have been met. That's why we use the modal auxiliary verb have plus past participle. Now, expectation and special cases when using conditional sentences. Now, here we can see, as with most topics in the English language, conditional sentences often present special cases in which unique rule must be applied. Use of simple future in the if clause. Generally speaking, the simple future should be used only in the main clause. One exception in when the action in the if clause will take place after the action in the main clause. For example, consider the following sentences. First example, if aspirin will ease my headache, I will take a couple tonight. The action in the if clause is the aspirin, easing the headache, which will take place only after the speaker takes them later that night. So these are the conditional clauses. So we have to understand this, and from the basis of this, we can solve the exercise. After the explanation of the kinds of conditional sentences, we should complete these exercises easily. Read the following sentences. A. If she knows we have a cat, Pati will leave the house. B. She won't be so upset if she knows about the poor beggar with sores on his feet. C. If the chappals do fit, will you really not mind? Notice that each sentence consists of two parts. The first part begins with if. It is known as if clause. Rewrite each of the following pairs of sentences as a single sentences. Use if at the beginning of the sentences. A is walk fast, you will catch the bus. And the example is given below here. If you walk fast, you will catch the bus. Now the next, B, don't spit on the road, you will be fined. If you spit on the road, you will be fined. And here we have to solve the exercises. Now the first one is, don't tire yourself. You won't be able to work in the evening. We have to put if there and we have to change the sentence formation. Now we have to write, if you tire yourself now, you won't be able to work in the evening. Second is, study regularly, you will do well in examination. We can write like this, if you study regularly, you will do well in examination. Now third, work hard, you will pass the examination in the first division. Now the answer is, if you work hard, you will pass the examination in the first division. Here we have removed the second, study regularly, you will do well in examination. So we can write like this, if you study regularly, you will do well in examination. Now third is, work hard, you will pass the examination in the first division. Work hard, you will pass the examination in the first division. We are going to write with the conditional if. If you work hard, you will pass the examination in the first division. Now fourth is, be polite to people, they will also be polite to you. If you are polite to people, they will also be polite to you. Now fifth is, don't tease the dog. Don't tease the dog, it will bite you. Now we are going to write, if you tease the dog, it will bite you. So these are the answers and you have to write in the copy as well as in the book also. Now let's move to the second exercise. Fill in the blanks in the following paragraph. Today is Sunday. I am wondering whether I should stay at home or go out? If I dash go out, I dash miss the lovely Sunday lunch at home. If I dash stay for lunch, I dash miss the Sunday film showing at Archana Theatre. I think I'll go out and see the film only to avoid getting too fat. So here the probability is there. So we will write the answer like this. Today is Sunday. I am wondering whether I would stay at home or go out if I go. If I go out, because we are using if here, so we will write if I go out, I will miss the lovely Sunday lunch at home. If I stay for lunch, I will miss the Sunday film showing at the Archana Theatre. So here in the first line we will write go, and in second line we'll miss stay and we'll miss the Sunday for showing at Archana Theatre. I think I'll go out and see the film only to avoid getting too fat. Now let's move to the next exercise. Next exercise, complete each sentences below by appropriately using any one of the following. If you want to, if you don't want to, if you want him. Now here also the conditional subjects are there, so we have to use likewise. And now first is don't go to the theatre. Now here we can write like this. Don't go to the theatre if you don't want to. Now the second is he will post your letter. He will post your letter if you want him to. Now third, please use my pen. Please use my pen if you want to. Fourth, he will lend you his umbrella. He will lend you his umbrella if you want him to. Fifth, my neighbor Ramesh will take you to the doctor if you want him to. Now sixth, don't eat it if you don't want to. So these are the exercises you have to complete in the book as well as in the copy also. Now the next part is speaking and writing. Discuss in a small group. If you want to give away something of your own to the needy, would it be better to ask your elder first? The first question. And the second question is there someone of your age in the family who is very talkative? Do you find him or her interesting and impressive or otherwise? Share your ideas with others in the group. Now third one is, has Rukumani done exactly the same as her children? In your opinion, then is it right for one party to blame the other? So these are the questions we have to discuss and then solve in your language. In your ideas you have to share. I am giving the example how can you write these answers. The first, if you want to give away something of your own to the needy, would it better to ask your elder first? It is depend upon your thinking, but I am giving you a suggestion to write like this. It depends on the situation of that moment. If there are no elders at that time, we should not wait for them to execute such a kind act. So we should ask to elders, and then if the condition situation is depend on the moment, if there are no elders at that time, we should not wait for them to execute such a kind act. Now the second question was, is there someone of your age in the family who is very talkative? Do you find him or interesting and impressive or otherwise? Share your ideas with others in the group. Now it is usually depend on your thought, but I am giving you example to write like this. Yes, my younger brother is very talkative, but he is not at all boring. He has good presence of mind. He impresses someone with his wit very soon. His friends are very keen to help to him. So you can write like this. If in your family, if anyone is like this, you can just write. Now the third question is, has Rukumani done exactly the same as the children? in your opinion, then is it right for one party to blame the other? Yes, Rukumani has done exactly the same as the children. Then, in my opinion, it is not right for one party to blame the other. So, likewise, you can solve the answers. Now, let's read the second question. Read the following. A group of children in your class are going to live in a hostel. They have been asked to choose a person in the group to share a room with. They are asking each other questions to decide who they would like to share a room with. Ask one another question about likes, dislikes, preferences, hobbies, personal characteristics. Use the following question and sentence opening. So these are the question. What do you enjoy doing after school? So here we can, it is open-ended questions. So you can write, I enjoy. What do you like in general? I like. Do you play any game? I don't like. Would you mind if I listen to music after dinner? I wouldn't. Will it be all right if it is fine with me? Is there anyone you dislike particularly? Well, I can't share. Do you like to attend parties? Oh, you just write. Would you say you are? I think I am this type of the personality. You can write like this. So, this is your homework. You have to solve yourself. Now, let's move to the second part of the exercises. Do you know what this tall bird does and on sensing danger? For is it to lie flat on the ground with its long neck almost horizontal. The enemy may not spot the ostrich in the position from a distance, and it may mistaken for a shrub or bush. If the danger is close by, the ostrich will take off and run. Though ostriches cannot fly, they can run as fast as 65 km per hour. If concerned, they give a swift, hard kick. An ostrich by its head intent to escape attention in a metaphor for people who imagine rather than face a problem. So answer no what this tall bird does on sensing danger for is to lie flat on the ground. With its long neck almost horizontal, the enemy may not spot the ostrich in this position for a distance, and it may be mistaken for a shrub or bush. If the danger is close by, the ostrich will take off and run. Though ostriches cannot fly, they can run as fast as 65 km per hour. If cornered, they give a swift, hard kick. An ostrich by its head is sent to escape attention is a metaphor for people who ignore rather than face a problem. Now, after the explaining the exercises, we are having some more questions, short type of the question we can write. The first question is, what was in the cat's name that pleased Mridu? So it is based on the text, but it is out of this exercises. But it is very necessary to understand what is the question asking. What was in the cat's name that pleased Mridu? Solution, you can write, Ravi had named the kitten Mahendra Varma, Pallava, Punnai, Mr. Punnai in short. They were calling him Mahendran. Mridu liked the name because it sounded real to her and was different from the usual cute names kept for cats in general. So that's why she was pleased. Now question number 2. How did Ravi link his cat with the Pallavas king? Now here the description of the cat that Ravi has given to Mridu. Ravi felt that his cat was a descendant of the Rishi cat of Mahabalipuram. He claimed that during his class trip to Mahabalipuram, he had seen a statue of a cat there, which he believed was an ancestor of this cat. He felt that the lion in the emblem of the Pallava king was a close relative to his cat. Now, question number 4. What made Ravi feel that Lali will never learn to play the violin? Now, here you can see in this story, the second part of the story. Ravi felt that Lali will never learn to play violin. The music teacher used to play the perfect notes, but she kept on going off tracks. It was like her train getting derailed again and again while the teachers were running smoothly on the track. Now, question number 4, why Rukumani asked Ravi to send away the beggar? Rukumani was fed up with the beggar coming to her place daily for over a week now. She was tired giving him food and other items. She wanted him to find another house and stop coming to their place. So she asked Ravi to send him away. What did the beggar feel about the ladies of the household? The beggar felt that the ladies of household were very kind. They have enabled him survive for a week by giving him a food to eat. He called them generous and found it hard to believe that they wanted to send him away. Now some long type questions. Describe Ravi's character in the story. Now here the Ravi is a very generous and kind uh, child. Now here you can see Ravi was an intelligent child. He had good observation skills and possessed sound knowledge of history. He was playful but had a good sense of humor. He managed to get milk for the kitten in front of the Pati's eyes. He also applied his intelligence and gave music teacher chappals to the beggar. He was kind and generous and remembered the story of the karma which Rukumani had told him. Now question number 2. Compare how the music teacher played the violin with that of Lali's. Now again we will see this text. The music teacher played the violin smoothly. His notes seemed to float up and then settle down perfectly into the visible track of the melody. He had moved the violin stem effortlessly and produced a melodious music. Lali, on the other hand, seemed to struggle with the violin. The instrument appeared unhappy and helpless in her hand. She kept on missing the tracks and produced a kind of noise which even scared Mahindran. Now here the question number 3. Why was Ravi upset with the elders? Now this is I think this is the main question of this story. Because the elders having contradictory regarding the kindness and other things. So here the answer. Ravi was upset with the elders because he had always been told by them to be kind towards animal. But whenever he had tried to do so, he had received screaming in return. He had found the same elders calling these animals dirty creature. Rukumani had told her about Kama, who would give away everything he had to help others. Ravi had tried to help the beggar by giving away the music teacher's chappals to him. But still Rukumani was angry with him. So these are the questions. And now value-based question which can be asked in your exam. So be prepared for it. The first question is, what is the moral of the story? Elaborate it. So here we have to read this story thoroughly, then we can write the moral of the story. The moral of this story is to help people in need. The beggar was in need of the slippers. He had blister in his feet. They did the right thing. Gopu Mama can buy another pair of slippers, but the beggar didn't have the money to buy them. We should help people in need. There is no harm in giving away a bit of those things that are surplus to us. We should give food, dresses, and sweaters to poor. For us, that might have much value, but it can save someone else's life. So this is the answer and this is the moral of the chapter, that we should always remember it. That's all for today. Have a good day. Write all the exercises in your copy and question answers which we have already discussed. Okay, take care and bye-bye. Before concluding this video, I would like to share a small clip which reminds you the moral of this chapter.
The gate. Amma, oh! Ravi, send that beggar away, cried his mother from the back veranda where she was chatting with Tapi. He has been coming here every day for the past week, and it's time he found another house to beg from, Pati explained to Tapi. Ritu and Meena followed Ravi out. The beggar was already in the garden, making himself quite at home. He had spread his upper cloth under the neem tree and was leaning against its trunk, apparently prepared to take a little snooze while he waited for the alms to appear. Go away, said Ravi sternly. My party says it's time you found another house to beg from. The beggar opened his eyes very wide and gazed at each of the children one by one. The ladies of this house, he said at last in a voice choked with feeling, are very kind souls. I have kept my body and soul together on their generosity for a whole week. I cannot believe that they would turn me away. He raised his voice. Amma! Amma, oh! Sad his wail might be, but it certainly wasn't feeble. It began in a deep, strong rumble somewhere in his withered belly and came booming out of his mouth with its few remaining teeth stained brown with beetle chewing. Ravi, tell him there's nothing left in the kitchen, called Rukmani. And he's not to come again. Tell him that. She sounded fed up. Ravi didn't have to repeat it all to the beggar. What his mother said had been easy for them all to hear, there under the neem tree. The beggar sat up and sighed. I'll go, he said wearily. Only let me have a rest here under this tree. The sun is so hot. The tar has melted on the road. My feet are already blistered. He stretched out his feet to show large, pink, peeling blisters on the soles of his bare feet. I suppose he doesn't have the money to buy chappals, Ritu whispered to Meena and Ravi. Have you got an old pair in the house somewhere? I don't know, said Ravi. Mine are too small to fit his feet, or I'd have given them to him. And his feet were larger than Ritu's and Meena's. The beggar was shaking out his upper cloth and tightening his dhoti. He raised his eyes and looked fearfully at the road, gleaming in the afternoon heat. He needs something on his feet, Meena said, her big eyes filling. It's not fair. Shh, said Ravi. I'm thinking about it. Blubbering it's not fair isn't going to help. In 2 minutes he'll be frying his feet on that road. What he needs is a pair of chappals. So where do we get them? Come, let's search the house. He pushed Ritu and Meena into the house. Just as she stepped into the veranda, Ritu's eyes fell on the odd-looking chappals she had noticed when she arrived. Ravi, she whispered to him. Whose are those? Ravi turned and glanced at the shabby-looking but sturdy old slippers. He beamed and nodded. These are just the right size, he said, picking them up. Ritu and Meena followed him nervously back into the garden. Here, said Ravi to the beggar, dropping the slippers in front of the old man. Wear these and don't come back. The beggar stared at the slippers, hurriedly flung his towel over his shoulder, pushed his feet into them and left, muttering a blessing to the children. In a minute, he had vanished around the corner of the street.